here is the exact reason that when purchasing a track saw, I went with the Festool TS75 rather than the TS55. I'm working with a Claro walnut slab that is 51 millimeters or just over 2 inches in thickness. So, as most people know, you can set the cut depth on the track saws so that you're only cutting the thickness you need. The TS55 doesn't cut deep enough for the slabs that I work with and that we mill. And this one, we did not mill this slab. This is much bigger than what we can do, but this slab provides the perfect example, or this case in point. So here we go with cutting a gorgeous 2-inch, this is a little over 4 feet in width. It goes from 41.5 to 59 inches in width with the live edges and 10 feet in length. So let's cut this thing square on the end. You can see there's a narrow point right here, which was the middle of this slab. Then we grow in thickness on either side of that center cut. So here is exactly why I bought the Festool TS75. And I didn't set it deep enough. Okay, let me try that again. Apparently this is a little thicker than, oh, I forgot to include the track. Alright, here we are. Is it third time is a charm? Is that the truth here? Alright, let me try not to make an idiot of myself this time. I'm going to go a little deeper just in case. Okay, sorry for the fingers in the lens. This is hard to do one-handed. So my primary reason for the 75 is the cutting depth. Another reason I went with the Festool over the DeWalt track saw or Porter cable. There's a bunch of them making them now. I think Bosch makes one, Triton might make one. I'm not positive on that. Makita makes one. I think Porter Cable is making one. I'm not positive on that one either. But for me, it was kind of a shootout between the DeWalt track saw and the Festool. My reason for going with Festool overall was they've been doing this for years, and when somebody comes up with a good design and perfects it, which in my opinion Festool has done exactly that, a lot of other manufacturers jump on board with that, which isn't a bad thing. Competition is never a bad thing. especially for us, the consumers. But I watch a lot of other woodworkers on YouTube, and let me talk to you. I watch a lot of other woodworkers on YouTube, and one of the ones that I go to a lot for reference is the Wood Whisperer, Mark Spagnolo at thewoodwhisperer.com. You can look him up on his YouTube channel or his website. And he not only uses Festool, but he's sponsored by Festool as well. And then another woodworker, or probably more accurately maker, that I watch a lot and get a lot of tips and ideas from is Jimmy DiResta. Now Jimmy DiResta does use the DeWalt track saw, whereas Mark Spagnolo uses the Festool track saw. So one of the things I appreciate about Mark Spagnolo is he did a shootout or a side-by-side comparison of the DeWalt track saw and the Festool track saw. He went over all the features of each, and to make a long story short, in the end, while he admitted right there in the video he's sponsored by Festool, he does take kind of a scientific and very practical approach to compare, you know, all the specifications of the tool, the parameters, the use, ease of use, cut, finish, etc., etc. And you can look up Mark Spagnolo's YouTube channel. I believe it's on his YouTube channel. Should be. For that comparison, I don't need to redo that. I don't have a DeWalt track saw to compare anyway, but he does a very good practical approach. And his conclusion is the DeWalt track saw is good quality, does have a good finish, good cutting depth. I think there were actually a couple of items that he actually liked on the DeWalt unit over the Festool unit. I believe some of the, your hand on there, I don't honestly remember off the top of my head. But all that to say, I went with the Festool because they've been doing it the longest. Everyone seems to be basing their designs off of Festool's designs, so on and so on and so on. And I like the system approach that they use for all of their tools, where their track works for many of their tools. I only own a couple tools, and the track saw was my first Festool purchase. I've since gone with, I started with the CT Mini, now I have the CT36 with HEPA filtration, and most recently got, with the CT36, got the Festool Rotex 150, which you might be able to see in the background there. And I got that Rotex 150 specifically for this slab behind me, for finishing that, making much faster work, more efficient work, better quality, and their sandpaper is a higher quality than the sandpaper I had been using up to this point. So, all that to say, that is why I personally opted to go with the Festool TS75. Very pleased with it so far, and the finish on this is beautiful. Before this, I made my own homemade track with plywood and everything and used my skill saw, and it worked. I won't say that doesn't work, but in using the skill saw, you absolutely will not get the cut quality that you get from one of the track saw units. I won't say that only Festool gives you great finish quality. I don't know that from personal experience, but largely from the Wood Whisperer's review and everything, the finish on here, this needs very little sanding on this edge. It is a beautifully sharp, crisp, square cut, no tear out on the top, no tear out on the bottom. It is just beautiful. Some of these just fall off. That's just ridiculously high quality. So there you go. That is why I chose the Festool TS75 as well as other Festool tools, which I hope to expand in the future as projects and budget allow. All right, Tim with Revive Industries. That's just my opinion. Thanks.